to find out what's going to happen next, what is the future, what are all those things which we do not know, and to find it out has been, or to go to find them out, has been a human passion since eternity. It is something that is very intriguing about time. Similarly, but less intriguing about space. And we also like to know what is happening somewhere else that I am not able to see. What is happening in this hall, I don't need anybody else to tell me. Well, I am able to see it. But what is happening at the present moment, right in China, I am not able to see. So, I am curious of that. But with the advancement of science, we can actually do that. I mean, we have the television. In earlier days, what we are talking about today, crystal ball was used for that as well. What is happening somewhere else, not just in time, but somewhere else, whatever is happening. Let me see from here. So somebody who has a crystal ball and knowledge as to how to look into it would see, okay, that thing is happening. So for the predictions in space also, that is used. Once when this construction was going on, I asked the architect that why did you do this? This was not necessary as it turned out. And his reply was, well, we didn't have a crystal ball. So unless we excavate and find out, we had no way of telling. So therefore, we didn't have a crystal ball, so this has to wait till we actually see it with our eyes. So, this is about that, which is not immediately in our sense contacts, but we want to know about it. It is, and we want to know about it for various reasons, because we have to plan our actions. And planning the actions means our actions, although I am going to do it now, will have repercussions, will have effects, will have consequences in the time and place that is beyond my sense perception right now. The pebble will be dropped in the lake now and at one spot, but the waves or the turbulence it will create will travel for some time to a longer area, a wider area. So, similarly, I do some action now, but it is not, this impact is not limited just now and here. It is spread on a vaster area and on a vaster time duration too. And therefore, I want my actions to be such that when I do them now, will have the desired effect in future as well as on a longer area that I am not right now able to see. So this is the human craze for a long time to know what's going to happen, what kind of spouse I will be getting, what type of job I will be getting, where I will be after 20 years from now. And people keep on thinking about these things. In India, there are people, who sit on the sidewalk with a little bird. And then there are many envelopes kept right in front. And then you pay that person some money, and then the bird would come out. And then with its beak pick one of those envelopes, and then that is then what is going to happen to you in future. So this is a type of, say, crystal ball. So you will know what is going to happen. We have here what is called fortune cookies. So you open and see, hey, what you are going to be afterwards. So this is all indicative of what we want to be or what we shall be. We want to know it now so that we can plan. There is in the business world, you see, there is a lot of this futuristic planning necessary to plan your business. You have to take into account many different factors to predict. You have to predict a vast variety of things and situations, like you have to see how the markets will change, how the public demand will change. Suddenly some new invention comes, and then the demand for a particular thing may go down or may go up. So you want to know how that is going to happen. So a lot of research and studies go on in what has happened in the past, near past and distant past, and on the basis of that a model is built as to what is going to happen in the future. Not that it is always very correct, but it is more accurate than just guessing without any data at hand, that's all. It is like the weather forecast, that the patterns for last many centuries they are studied. Then now you have the satellites, the images, how the clouds are coming, what systems are getting formed, and then our knowledge of physics, this has improved a lot. So therefore it is we are in a better situation to predict those things, but for a shorter duration. And that too, it is most of the times these days it tends to be accurate, but still not always. So it is therefore they say rains, tomorrow rains, but they write there 15%. Not that the rains are going to be 15%, the chance of rains falling is 15%. So they are safe, if rains fall, oh yeah, we had predicted rains will be there. And if not, oh well, we had given that it was 15% chance. Even if it is 99%, still they have 1% in their hands, that okay, it's not going to fall. See, there is a little chance that it was not going to fall. So this is how the science of predictions and then various business models they are developed. The software company like Oracle, one of its products which helps to predict how the business trends would be, a model for all those things, that its name is Crystal Ball. So the crystal ball is a program whereby one can see how the situations are going to take different turn. The great mathematician John Nash has that game theory, that it is very much used for predicting how the businesses will take shape, what are the various components, different players in the game, and you take a look at that and then decide that how you want to, what steps you would like to take, because it's like look, for example, think of a football game. You are planning a strategy, but while you are planning a strategy, your opponents are not just sitting with one hand on another hand like that. They also are planning their strategy. So you have to think of that also, that what strategies that they will be planning, and then think how the capabilities of different players and so forth. You have to make a model on the basis of that, and thus the game you can play, you have a better strategy to win it. So this is how we try to predict. But what is this connection that we have about this future? We would never have to predict past, it is done, we know. Although we have this, all human beings have this disease, let us say disease, because it is just wastage of time and mental energy of recreating the past. We go in the past and start thinking about it. Well, had that not happened, and then instead of going on the south, towards south, had I gone in the north, then this would have happened, then this would have happened, and then I would have hit a lottery. We keep on creating, pictures by manipulating the past, although we know that it is a futile exercise, it is just waste of time, waste of mental energy. Because past is past, it is happened, nothing is going to change about it. There is no scope for predicting the past. That is why they say the hindsight vision, always 2020. No mistake is going to happen there. It is, and also there are things which are just tautologically true. So there also you don't need much prediction. I don't need a crystal ball to say, tomorrow it's going to be Monday, It is just by the virtue of today being Sunday, tomorrow it's going to be Monday, it's quite obvious. So these are just the matters which are logically, tautologically, let us say, connected. The very meaning that today is Sunday is that tomorrow is Monday. So you don't need any predictive technology for that. But when it comes to many, many other uncertain things and which may impact your life in a big way, we start thinking, calculating, planning, and so forth about what's going to happen in the future. And we get worried and tense also about it. Suppose this happens, suppose that happens, suppose this doesn't work, and so forth. We plan, but then there are always the uncertainties associated with that keeps us worrying, especially when some very important decisions they hinge on that information. This is actually, friends, the topic of my discussion today, that our connection with time, the future. As you know, it is Einstein is credited rightly with this discovery that time is a dimension involved in all. We perceive the world only as three-dimensional. We know that everything has length, breadth, height. It is. So, this three-dimensional world we perceive, but then there is this fourth dimension, time, which is a part of our perception, and yet we do not perceive it. That is why it required genius like Einstein to show that it is a component involved in everything, because although we are aware of time in a general way, not in the proper, precise way as we are aware of the space dimensions. These three, length, breadth, height, these three dimensions we are aware of. We are not aware of the fourth dimension, although in a way that is why it is a bit complex. We are aware and yet we are not aware. We are aware means we know that the things happen in time, and yet how the time component forms a part of this. We do not have a four-dimensional vision or understanding. That is why there is this past, present, future. You can see this very important difference, that these three space dimensions we see as static. They remain. But we don't see time as static. time is moving. Therefore, the space and time of this space, like we say that this chair at this time. And then there is the perceiver. That perceiver is a part of this time movement that we are not aware of. Everything is this perceived by eye, and it is a part of this time, and therefore I do not notice the movement of time, and thus there is this conflict between a thing now and thing later. We are aware that the things change, and yet we identify that this is that. Even somebody I met, say 40 years ago, I met suddenly, and then I could not recognize, he also could not recognize me. We used to study in school, so it is together and used to be chums and so forth, but then for a long time no contact. So, and then in the meantime, there were all the changes in the body and all that. So we did not recognize each other after 40 years, quite natural. Having recognized would have been a wonder, but it is. But then we exchange notes. Oh, okay, now I remember. Yeah, you are that. Yes, you are that. Now what is that? How do we say that that is the same person? There is that idea of something unchanging or same in spite of so many changes that have gone through. These are changes happening in space and time that we notice, but still we identify that that is the same. Now what is that sameness? That we did not attribute that change to something there, and that same something in here also. There is that which does not undergo any change, on which these divisions of time get superimposed. Just imagine if we could see the four dimensions together, just as we see the three dimensions together. We don't have that sense, that organ right now. But suppose we develop, think of it, that where we can see the four-dimensional nature of everything. Then what happens? Then the past, present, future, this division disappears. In space, we don't have that kind of division. It is here and there. But here and there is of a different type than past, present, future. There is in space, there is, you can go there, come back there, here. There is no problem about that. In space, even conceptually it is impossible to do that. We were watching some time back some lectures in great courses, and one of these, there are many wonderful these courses in that on various different subjects given by very good teachers, professors, scholars, and one series is on time. So as we were watching that, it was he gave the examples to show that how human mind wants to have a foray in future, go and see what is happening in the future. There are many novels and movies associated with that search. The science fiction is just replete with all those stories about travel in time. So, but he pointed out, the author, that look, even though the movie is showing that and that generally we don't notice that. The movie is showing that you are going in future, and suddenly something like that in 2100 you go there and you see that. And is it really a travel in future? It is not, because you are seeing it in this regular time. It is that time is for you the governor in all these considerations. You are not going out of that time. It is even in that movie, that person talks about future, going into future, a scientist or anybody, that let us take a travel in future. All that discussion is happening, taking this movement of time as the real one. And then again it is a different thing, so it remains as a topic only for fiction, and really logically untenable idea of having really going into future or going backwards in time. And that is another mystery about time, that it goes only in one direction. In space, that is a big difference, that you came from your home here and you can go back to your home. No problem about that. Had there been doubt about it, you might not have come. That it is, you are sure that, well, I came here and I can go back. So you came here. But same luxury is not available with time. That okay, I will now go back into past and then come back again in the present, and then if I get bored with this, I will go into future. That luxury we don't have. Time is therefore considered the independent variable. It moves at its own pace. You can't do much about it. That is why in our schools also we were taught, make good use of time. Time and tide does not wait for anybody. A wise dictum that time is like that. But when we get this vision, let us put it like that, where this a perception of time becomes like that of space, and then we can see things as four-dimensional. And that is where the time will actually stop for us. It is like I see the chair right there. Now the chair is not moving for me. But can I stop the time also not moving like that? No. It is so, if the chair, along with all its four dimensions, are perceived as a single entity, then it will not change. It will be fixed in time too. There is the idea of change will vanish. Somehow our awareness of space is fixed, but the awareness of time is like moving. It is a point in motion. That is what we call now. And it is a big philosophical problem, to really posit this now. Let us be, there are many teachings, let us concentrate on now. Let us be here and now, that so that we can make best use of time. Now. There is the Eckhart Tolle's famous book also, The Power of Now. But how do we generate this now, it is a mystery how now gets generated. It is what is now? Moving all the time. Now, already changed, by the time you utter the word, that now has become different. It is a point in motion. And that is not the case in the space. This chair doesn't mean that chair. It is fixed something, I can point it out. But now it has moved. It is moving. It is a constant flux that is being addressed as now. And therefore, this problem persists for us about what is going to happen in the future, and the only solution for that is going to a higher level of awareness, a timeless awareness. And that is where you see all these great sages. They are called sages because they reach that stage where time becomes still for them. The concentration increases, and as the concentration increases, the speed of time seems to decrease. That anybody can notice just by a little experiment. That you can think what when you are doing something that you immensely like, and then the time goes away without your having noticed. It is if somebody is told to sit at a place like this little child, hey, don't move. He's, he is sitting so calmly. I don't think at his age I might have been able to do that. Very calm. But normally you will see that the kids, they would be get up, and because to sit still is very difficult. But give them something that they like. Two little kids were playing something there in the children's room and were sitting for hours without, didn't want to move at all. Because that is, the time had stopped for them. When you are doing something that you love, the time doesn't move. People go and sit for 6-7 hours watching a football game. They don't feel the strain. Even if otherwise they are told, well, come and sit for meditation. Swami, I can't sit too long, it is too difficult. But for 10 minutes, okay. But then when they are seeing the football game, the 10 minutes, just 6 hours fly just like that. So, what I mean here, whatever makes you concentrated, that concentration keeps on bringing down the movement of time. And when you reach the highest concentration, that is called technically samadhi, highest concentration. And there the time stops moving. Now past, present, future, everything is just crystal clear. I mean without a crystal ball. Is crystal clear to you. It is very clear. There is no such division actually. It is all becomes an eternal present. That is how many who have experienced samadhi have described that the time gets arrested. Then time does not flicker. It is in Kathopanishad, it is described tam yogamiti manyante sthiram indriya dharanam buddhischana vicheshtati tamahu paramagati. That when all the movement of your intellect stops, when all the sense organs they are completely restrained, then the time is no longer there. That is the highest yoga, the highest state of awareness. That it is this stopping of this wonderful phenomena, strange phenomena, ununderstandable phenomena called time. It is, you will see that all important scriptures describe that God is the Lord of time. It is has both the ends, the beginning and the end are together there. The whole flow of time doesn't go anywhere. It is all contained there. It is for those who do not have connection with that state, then they feel what's going to happen in future and therefore want to know. This wanting to know also is an indication that we are actually that where the knowledge of past, present, future comes to us as one thing, together, as one page, like you see one painting, one picture. You see it together as one picture. It is, you don't see that first I see this, then see this, then see this. It comes to you as one single perception. So the whole gamut of time becomes as one perception for such a sage. It is, there is a very beautiful song written by a great Bengali poet Girish Chandra Ghosh, describing how the Lord Shiva is merged in that deep meditation. And one stanza there describes what is in that state, Kala Baddha Vartamane. The time in that consciousness is arrested in eternal present. There is no past or future. It is the one single, big or small. Again, the big or small, that relativity vanishes there. It is one single moment. You will see that this creation of now, this is a very beautiful book by Maurice Nicoll, a philosopher who was another, that Gurdjieff school, that Ouspensky and others who have worked a lot on existence of time and how the things work at different awareness of time. So he describes that how the scriptures say that what is God. He says, let us take some examples, and I am quoting from him. God, according to an ancient Orphic saying, holding the beginning, middle, and end of all existence. That is quotation from Plato. God is withdrawn from both the ends of time, for his life is not time but eternity, the archetype of time. And in eternity there is no past and future, only present. Another philosopher, Philo. I am yesterday, today, and tomorrow. There is not a day devoid of that which belongeth to it. The present time is the path which I have opened. This is the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Coming to the Old Testament, I, the Lord, the first, and with the last, I am He. Isaiah chapter 41, 5, 4. Declaring the end from the beginning and from the ancient times, the things which are not yet done. Again Isaiah chapter 46. And in the New Testament, I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. This is from Revelation. So this is how we see that the divine is seen as holding the time together. One definition or one name, let us say, of God in India, for the Hindus, it is Mahakal, the feminine of which is described Mahakali. What is that Kali or Kala? This god of time. Where this mystery of time is ultimately resolved. So the way is to get more concentration in our life. That is why we like concentration. Is it not? Many try, that how can I improve my concentration? All our powers also seem to open with concentration. And why do we like to develop concentration? Because there will be ultimately able to go beyond this otherwise very tantalizing mystery that about time and planning and how will the future be. So the idea is to therefore go to learn more concentration through various meditational and contemplative practices. One learns to get more concentration in life, and then our now will start increasing. The effect will be that our now, as the concentration increases, the now starts expanding, and thus what others would be thinking as would be happening in the future, you will start seeing that as if they are happening now. It is because you see that as happening now. Many times in dreams people get what they call premonition, that it is that they know already that this is going to happen. They saw it in dream. And then when they wake up, they find it surprising that how it exactly happened like that, that I saw in dream or in a vision, that where the time sense became different. In dream, your time sense is very different than the waking state time sense. And therefore, you see in this new sense of time, the past, present, future lines get drawn differently, and what is future for us now becomes actually the present for that person. You see that it has already happened. It is in Bhagavad Gita you find this statement that look, he is telling, Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna that don't have to worry, you do your duty. This war is happening, so many warriors are going to be killed. You are worried that I am going to kill them. But remember, I have already killed them. You have to just become the instrument, the excuse, the nimitta. You have to become just the instrument to do that. I have already killed them. It is like in a drama, in a stage show, that while the script writer has already decided what is going to happen, written in the script. Those who are watching the script, who are watching the play, they don't know what's going to happen in the future. So they are, if it is a very suspense-filled drama, and then everybody is looking for who has committed the murder, but then that person is already caught in the script, in the drama. The writer knows when that fellow is going to be found and how. But the viewers, they don't know it. So this also is like that everything is already in the present. But we, in fun, we have divided these lines, having just fun. Why do we go to see the play? We spend money, we travel there to have some fun. So this whole world, as Shakespeare has put it, this whole world is a stage. So there we are performing all these roles, and we do not know what's going to happen in the future, but it is all already happened in the God consciousness. There is no such 2-3 different times there. It is all one single whole time. It is a perfect vision. If we ponder, I am not going to do that now, but it is, you can think about it, that how this now comes into our life. Now, the perception of now. It is, here lies the really intriguing this knot, this complex that we will be able to resolve by thinking of this, what is now. So, thank you, friends.